Okay, so now we're continuing Parshat Shlach, L'kuti Sichot Daled, and we are on the second half of the 6th paragraph. V'zeu, and this is V'zeu. V'zeu, and this is here. V'zeu, and this is Ma what Shemasayim b'Yerashnu oto, that we will conquer it. Yerusha mashmuto sheyoresh omed b'makom hamorish mamash. We will conquer. The yoresh means to conquer, but yoresh also means to inherit. So when a person inherits something, basically it's the same type of a word. When you conquer something, you stand in the place of the original owner. The same thing as inheritance. When you inherit something, you stand in the place of the person who passed away. Right? It used to be Uncle Joe's house, and Uncle Joe gave it to me. Now it's my house. I didn't have to do anything whatsoever. Right? All I have to do is just move there and it's mine. We didn't have to move the house. We didn't have to change the house. I am now in the place of Uncle Joe. The same thing when they took over the land of Israel, that it became their place. When a person sells something, when he gives something, the possession of the thing has to go from one person or from the giver to the possession or to the domain of the one who's buying. When I sell you my car, right? So I sell the car and I get the money. You're not standing in my place. You're standing in your place and you've drawn this thing into your possession. Well, I sell you my car, I'm not selling you myself. You're not taking over my place. You're just taking over my car. Lokein b'Yerusha, it's not the same in an inheritance. Hayoresh omed b'makom hamorish mamish. The one who is inheriting is in the place of the one who gives it to him, really. V'notel et atzmus hamorish, and he takes the essence of the one who is giving over. Therefore, like it says, if a person dies and he has debts, so his sons have to pay the debts. They're like the father. V'zeu muvano shel yerashnu ota. That's what it means that we will inherit it, we will take it over. When we go into the land of Israel, Eretz Noshavas, and we make it into a settled place, v'itaskut be'inyan gashmi, and we settle it, and we occupy ourselves in physical things. Okay, Herschel, kadei, in order, lasot mehem kelim, in order to make from them vessels for godliness. In other words, the whole world becomes ready to receive godliness. Like a person cleans off his glasses. Right? He cleans off his glasses before he starts to read. So cleaning off your glasses means now you're a vessel to receive the ideas. To clean up the world. The Jews went into Israel in order to clean the place up so that it could be a vessel for the blessings of God. Nichba sha'olam. Then by means of that, the whole entire world will be conquered. What does it mean to be conquered? Will take over everybody? No. It means that the whole world will know that God is the boss and the creator and the director and the producer and the provider of everything that there is in the world. The Ofen Shel Yerusha, Natilas Atzmus Alakus. In other words, we will take the essence of God. We're in the place of the one who is inheriting to us. Right? Like when Uncle Joe dies and I take over his house. So I'm now in the place of Uncle Joe. That's called inheritance. The same thing, when the Jews went into the land of Israel, they were in the place of God. They took over God. Of course, in our case, God is always existing. But that's if so, the language of inheritance is also not proper. It says, why is the use in the language of we will inherit the land? Inherit the land means that we will be in the place of the original owner, God. So that's what Kalev said. You people in the desert, we're learning Torah, we're wonderful, but we're still separated from God. God is one thing. He took us from Egypt. He gave us the Torah. He's providing us. There's Him and there's us. When we go into the land of Israel, it's not going to be that way anymore. It's going to be only God. And what about us? You're going to feel really alive. You're going to feel that you're really connected to the Creator of the universe. That's when you're really created, when you're in the world. Vav, Zion. Ha'ara mafarshas ha'meraglim b'avodas Hashem. What can we learn from this story, which occurred 3,300 years ago? A little bit more. 3,000 years ago. 3,300 years ago. What can we learn from this story? The whole story, does it really make any sense? The whole story, so they didn't want to go into the land of Israel. What importance is it? It's their psychological problems, not ours. But that's the whole idea of Chassidut. Chassidut comes to tell us that everything that is in the Torah is eternal, and everything that's in the Torah is alive, and everything that's in the Torah is inside of us. And there's a vital lesson to be learned from every detail of the Torah. The people who are big Kabbalists, they can learn even more things from the different letters, from the different attitudes, the essence of your soul. We're little Kabbalists, right? All we want to do is just receive. Kabbalah means to receive. We just want to receive some good, inspiring ideas over here. God is really infinitely closer than we think and we possibly can imagine. That's the Tanya. Korov Eilecha Davar Meod. God is closer to you, very much closer to you than you are to yourself. What can we learn from this? Eitzel Kol Adam, by every single Jew. Yeshnam, there are shtei tekufot b'chayav. There are two periods in his life. We're talking about religious Jews. Two periods in your life. Midbar, Beretz Israel, when you're in the desert and you're in the land of Israel. Gam Kach, also here, every day. Every day there's the desert of the day and the Eretz Israel of the day. What's the desert part? What do you think? Yeah.
Exile.
What?
Exile.
Nah. The Jews, when they were in the desert, they weren't in exile. The Jews, when they were in the desert, they were redemption. That's what they thought. That was redemption. They got out of Egypt. They were redeemed. Nobody's pushing them to do anything. All their needs were provided for by God. All their needs are provided for by God. No. All their needs are provided for by God. They could sit and learn Torah all day and be connected to the greatness and the infiniteness of God, sitting there remembering how God gave them the Torah and how God took them out of Egypt and how God is brought. And they were surrounded by God everywhere. They were eating God. They were eating bread from heaven.
Just like being in Yeshiva.
There we go. The desert part of the day is when you're in the Yeshiva and you're praying. B'techilat hayom, in the beginning of the day, Adam osak b'tefillah, he works at prayer. Limud shir Torah, learns Torah. After tefillah, after prayer, etc. Ein lo magayim agashmi, says nothing to do with the physical world. Amnam bad mitzvahs tzitzis. It's true. There is mitzvahs of tzitzis and tefillin. They are in physical things, yes, but ein lo esek im mitzari v'gvulei olam. He has no contact with the limitations and the boundaries of the world. Kamuvan, like it's understood. But after he finishes praying and after he finishes learning Torah, now he has to go into the world. If it's a yeshiva bacher, he has to go into the world after a few years. If it's a person that's a normal businessman or a family man, so in the morning he prays and he learns, and then after that he goes to work. But asakim shalin reshut, he has to deal with optional things in the world that are not mitzvahs. Selling socks. He has to deal with computers. And now he has to serve God in a way of what's called, in all of your ways you should know Him. Not just in Torah but mitzvahs. Then, alul huliton, a person would think like this. B'shas limud Torah, when I was learning the Torah, which the Torah is the wisdom and the will of God, is moving shalo kayim kol metziut prat lakodesh baruch hu. It's clear, all there exists is God. Sometimes you could sit and learn Torah and you can cry from how beautiful it is. I'm learning the wisdom of this. Is incredible. I'm learning the words of God. There's no flower or children's eyes or anything that's more beautiful than that. Nothing. Alachas kama v'kama, much more so b'shat tefillah, when you're praying. When a person is praying, he's really thinking about God. She'omed b'hitbatlut muchletet, He is totally surrendering himself to God. He's just thinking about God. God, how you create the world. God, how you create all being. God, you took us out of Egypt. He's really thinking about God all the time. Right? That's when he is praying. But when he goes into the business world and he's doing things in the world to make money, and he's working in the world, the word for world in Hebrew is the same word for concealment. And the Torah says, ta'aseh, you have to do hitnagud al pi sidrei ha'olam, and you have to conduct yourself in the ways of the world. Then a person could think, hey, 1 second. When I was in the yeshiva and when I was learning Torah, everything was great. Page 28. Oh, I have it. Here. Ketzad, how? Yochol, how am I able? Lif'ol ba'atzmo, how can I have find the power in myself? That I'm in the world. Lo yitfasu inyanim agashmi makor etzli. How can it be that the physical things in the world won't take up a place by me? Shelo yit'aneg behem v'yishtamesh behem rak la'avodas Hashem. How can it be that the world won't have an effect? I mean, the world all of a sudden becomes very real. When you're praying and when you're learning Torah, right? Everything is in your mind. It's all in your mind. You have to really think in order to bring these things into reality. You know, God is really creating me. God is really giving the Torah. God is really, you have to really think. But in the world, you don't have to think so much. And all of a sudden, these things become real. I know of somebody that, it was in Israel, they had, for a while, they had a gambling casino in the Palestinian, what's it called? Palestinian Authority. In Jericho. And it was really a dangerous area, but the Palestinians, they put guards or policemen, whatever, all the way, so nobody would do anything. And people went from Israel and they lost their houses. And religious people went. There were religious people that never gambled in their life. Somebody introduced them to it. And there were people that they went there and they lost. Huh? Yeah, sure. Yeah. And people went there and they lost their homes, they lost everything, in other words, all of a sudden these religious people went, and the guy goes and he thinks, listen, I'm a religious Jew, I do all these mitzvahs, for sure I'm going to win. I have all these merits, and all of a sudden the guy comes out and he loses his payas, he loses his everything, right? The people went in there and they didn't realize what was going on. A little bit more, one more bet, just like a person who's been, gambling his whole life and losing, They went there in just a month. The thing was only open a few years. But all of a sudden, the world had this amazing effect on people that it just became real. Other people went there and they said, it's stupid, I'm not even going to gamble at all. Or they said, you know what, I'll gamble, I'll put, $50 down, and that's it. This is ridiculous. People that didn't do it. And there were even people that went there and they won. They won $100, $200, and they quit. I'm not going anymore. But there were people that went and they lost everything. Because the world is so enticing, and sometimes it just hits on a person. It just chimes with exactly that part of the person's personality that's, you want to call it weak or strong as far as the world goes, as he gets caught. A person could say, a person that works all the day in the world, hari lo rak she'eno mesugal lif'ol al atzmo liot karoi b'meshech hayom. A person that he's all the time in the world, for sure the world is going to have an effect on him. The land eats up everybody. Therefore it confuses him. And it disturbs him even in the time when he's learning Torah and doing prayer. Till eventually he just doesn't want to pray anymore. He loses all of the flavor to it. What are you talking about that there's God? I don't understand what there's God. I don't feel God. I don't see it. Before you weren't worried about feeling him and hearing him. Right? Now you go to the wherever it is, the discotheque or something, and now you want to see and you want to feel and you want to hear, and that's proof. That's reality. What you can feel and what you can hear and what you can see with your body, That's reality. And what's in your mind, it's for religious fanatics, freaks. But the whole essence, that's the whole essence of the world. The world conceals the truth. And how does it conceal the truth? By presenting itself to be the real truth. That's it. There's no more than me. שגם אז יפלא ברעיונות מחשבות זורות עקב דאגתו בענייני עולם במשך כל היום. And then it can be that a person, even though that he is a person who's sitting and learning Torah, he sits and learns Torah half of the day, and the other half of the day goes into business. But let's not go as extreme as what I talked about. He's sitting and he's learning Torah, and he's thinking about, oh yeah, I should have made the business. I should have bought this. I should have bought it. Just one second. Just give me a second over here. Hello, Fairchild outer caps. Yeah, buy. Yeah, buy. Okay. Now that's okay. Let's go. Let's go. What were we talking about over here? The Tosfos says that. Oh wow! I just remembered something. Hello. Listen. The United Flowers sell. Okay, let's go. His mind is going on, and he can't possibly concentrate on the Torah. It'll become so uninteresting to him. That was exactly what the Jews were afraid of in the desert that would happen to them when they went to the land of Israel. They didn't want to forget about God. Kalapi davar zeh. If so, what's the solution? The Torah says, Ki zu oyata tainas hamaraglim. This is exactly what the spies said. Heim savru shekasher ben Yisrael asukim binyani olam. They thought that when the Jews are occupied in the world, v'shuruyim betoch seder olam, and they're in the order of the world, hari kiviyachal afilu balabayit eina yochal hotzi kelav. The world is not God's possession. The world is an independent entity. What do they call it? What do they call it? The authority. Oh, the world is the Palestinian authority, right? The authority. Who's the authority in the world? The Yetzer Hora is the authority. God has His place. He's in the synagogue. He's in on holidays. That's where God rules. Shabbos, but the weekdays outside of the synagogue, that's a different authority totally. The fact though is, the fact of the matter is the world is not opposed to Torah essentially. It is externally. But essentially it's being created by the same God that's giving the Torah. Even though the nature is limited and it can disturb our holiness and learning Torah, but Rak Chafetz Banu Hashem, in the world there is the desire of God. The desire of God that we should be in the world and that we should perfect the world. We should be in the world that makes us angry and confused and anxious, and we should say, I'm not going to get anxious. I'm with God. God put me in the world to fix this up. Right? It's like a psychiatrist, right? People coming into his office and the psychiatrist saying, excuse me, monsieur, you're out of your mind. You're crazy. Get out of here. Of course he's not going to say that. Right? Psychiatrists deal with crazy people. Right? That's what he's supposed to do. The same thing, we're doctors in order to fix up the world. We're in the world. We don't say, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with the world because you're confusing. We're in the world because the world is confusing. In order to fix it up, we are in the world as messengers and with the inner desire of Hashem, HaKodesh Baruch Hu. We have the power. Al Yadei Aaron, by means of the Ark of the Torah, Hakayem B'Shlemusa, which is existent right now, but it's gone, as it says, it was just hidden. The Rebbe has a beautiful sikh about that, how the Ark in the second temple wasn't revealed, but it was hidden down deep. La'achar le'echad imateva im'lamayla matev, to unite nature with above nature, and to make from the lower world a dwelling for the essence of God. Good? Excellent. That's what we can do. Tomorrow we'll finish this beautiful Masicha about